Whether you wear one or not, masks have become one of the most visible symbols of the pandemic. A quilter has taken her mastery of this protective gear to a whole new level. So much so, a specific group of people and the U.S. Army have taken notice. Here's Michael Schlesinger.
Since I've probably been about 8 or 10 years old, my mom got a sewing machine and we learned together. I grew up on a farm in Iowa. I was a 4-H girl. It was kind of a thing that we had to do.
As Vicki Spearing tells it, the hobby of quilting has woven into much of her life.
As long as I got fabric, as long as I've got time, that's what I've been doing.
At the beginning of the pandemic, this Wauwatosa mom and grandmother used her talents to make face masks for her 2 daughter-in-laws who just happen to be nurses.
This is a good place to use my collection of fabric.
Word caught on as to what she was doing, and on the recommendation of a neighbor with a cochlear implant, she expanded her coverage and started sewing them for those deaf or hard of hearing.
I start with 2 7-inch pieces of fabric. I put a little slot in because I have a pipe cleaner in it, so it folds around the nose. I cut a slot out, I stick some plastic in between, and I stitch around it so that the plastic is secure. And I add straps so that you can tie it on.
Of course, this got the attention of the nonprofit group Here in Wisconsin. The organization is now helping with distribution. Jill Van Caster is the president and CEO.
Our folks use lip reading, so we use American Sign Language, but they also read people's lips, and they use facial expressions to communicate. And imagine how concerning that is to have your entire face covered in a mask. Really, really difficult for people who are deaf or hard of hearing to communicate with anyone around them.
Although I can hear, I realize how much I actually use the facial instructions and the lips to understand people too.
Someone was so impressed with the work this fabric artist was doing, they actually nominated her to be the face of the U.S. Army's Answer the Call campaign.
It's neat to see somebody that would take their own time and really come up with something that's really going to help people in the long run. And she has a really unique story, so it's really exciting to see that. And just to dedicate the time, that just shows what service is all about and taking care of others, because I think it's one thing we really have to focus on, especially in times like this, is taking care of others.
Are you going to stop ever?
Yes, when this pandemic is over. Darn right I am.
In the meantime, this quilter is still assembling. Hundreds upon hundreds of these unique facial coverings have already been made, and at the same time, she's working on a quilt for her granddaughter.
The requests just kind of keep coming in. So we've now reached out to other people in the community who are making masks saying, can you convert your standard mask making and make these with the clear plastic in the inside? So we're just starting that right now, getting them involved, others.
Spearing has a life motto, trust your craziest idea. This particular one turned into a reality. You might say a pretty powerful product.
Vicki and her friends are a godsend, and we are so genuinely thankful for what she's done for Here, Wisconsin.